The story begins in Miami. It couldn't have been anywhere else. The city that never sleeps, where the heat blends with the ocean breeze and innovation is just part of everyday life. Forget the Titanic. This is where a creature sets sail that defies all logic. The Icon of the Seas is not just a cruise ship, it's the largest floating beast ever created. 365 meters of steel, 20 decks, 7,600 souls aboard. Can you imagine waking up to a tropical park in the middle of the ocean, sliding down a slide from your own suite, or watching ice skating shows while you cruise through the Caribbean? More than 20 restaurants, luxury boutiques, and the largest aquatic playground ever built at sea. This ship doesn't just take you to a destination, it is the destination. And what's inside feels almost unreal. Today, you'll discover how the most extraordinary cruise ship ever built actually works, from luxury to engineering marvels. Stay with us until the end, because this will leave you speechless. Welcome to Curiometro. Open your eyes. Before you stands a 365-meter colossus with 20 decks and room for more than 7,600 adventurers. Forged from 250,800 tons of steel, driven by propellers that spin like video game joysticks. The Icon of the Seas isn't just another ship, it's the ship that makes every other cruise look like a toy. But its story didn't begin under the Florida sun. It was born in Turku, Finland at the Meyer Turku shipyards. There, over 2,000 engineers welded dreams together for 900 days of non-stop work. Every steel plate was assembled inside a colossal cathedral of metal, filled with the scent of Nordic pine and strong black coffee. And when her hull touched the icy waters of the Baltic for the very first time, the entire port roared with sirens in celebration. After her maiden voyage across the Atlantic, Miami, long known as the cruise capital of the world, had to adapt. The port was dredged to reach a depth of 16 meters. Terminal A, famously known as the Crown of Miami, was renovated and expanded. 170,000 square feet of structure with glass peaks that sparkle like a crown at sunset. Because this time, it wasn't about fitting the ship to the port, but transforming the port to fit the ship. A multi-billion-dollar investment to build an ecosystem capable of handling such colossal scale. Inside, luggage carousels move to the rhythm of salsa music. Biometric scanners clear thousands of passengers in just minutes. Outside, electric cranes and an underwater tunnel keep the city free from traffic jams. And so, under the sun and breeze of Biscayne Bay, the giant awakens. A beast forged in ice, now roaring among palm trees, ready to become your floating amusement park. And this is just the first chapter. You cross the gangway, and suddenly you're no longer on a ship. You're in a city. A floating city with 8 neighborhoods, each one designed to tell a different story at every corner. You start with the Royal Promenade, 3 floors of boutiques and cafes under an LED sky that shifts from sunrise to sunset. A glowing staircase launches you straight into Casino Royale, the largest casino at sea, with 500 machines roaring nonstop, and a ventilation system so precise the smoke vanishes before it ever touches your cards. You turn to starboard and steel transforms into jungle. Central Park breathes with over 20,000 real plants. Live violins float between orchids as waiters hand out glasses of champagne beneath the ocean breeze. Further aft, Surfside bursts to life, the family neighborhood. A vintage carousel, splash zones, and slides that dive straight into the kids' party deck. One level higher, the roar of water signals Chill Island with its trio of infinity pools that melt into the Caribbean horizon. For restless bodies, the ship hides a coliseum of steel and mirrors. The Vitality at Sea Fitness Center, treadmills facing the ocean, weights connected to smart apps, and cycling classes that pulse under neon lights. Here you burn calories while the Caribbean parades beneath your feet. Prefer liquid endorphins? Head up to the Hideaway, the first infinity pool suspended 40 meters above the sea, with a sunset DJ to set the mood. And when the lights go down, Chill Island transforms into a floating beach club. Above it all, a glass dome hides the next secret, the Aquadome, an indoor waterfall, water acrobatics, and an atmosphere from another world. But there's still a wilder roar waiting, one that echoes from the other side of the hull. Welcome to Thrill Island, the adrenaline-fueled hill of the Icon of the Seas. This is where Category 6 resides, the largest water park ever built at sea. 6 slides, 6 ways to challenge your sanity. The warm-up starts gently, if you can even call it gentle, with a freefall. Pressure drop, the ocean's first open freefall slide. The floor vanishes beneath your feet and your scream is trapped inside a tube angled at 66 degrees. To your left, 2 colored lines twist like serpents. These are the Storm Chasers, a head-to-head mat race where the loser ends up soaked in ego. Climb up one more level and now the rafts spin over the void. Storm Surge and Hurricane Hunter, raft slides for 4 adventurers rocking inside transparent bowls while the ocean unfolds 14 meters below. Still craving more? Then take a deep breath because up top the king is waiting on his throne. Frightening bolt. 13 stories tall, 14 meters of pure vertical drop, the highest descent ever built on a ship. The trapdoor opens, a heartbeat, an abyss, a 360-degree loop seals your passport and the Caribbean becomes a turquoise blur. And just as your heart starts to settle back in place, an electric roar rises from the deck. It's Crown's Edge, part zipline, part glass walkway, hanging 47 meters above the ocean. But that's a story for another time. For now, remember this. On Adrenaline Island, there is no pause button. Here, slides are measured in floors, and fear isn't an obstacle. It's fuel for your next drop. You step away from the roar of the slides and the ship shifts down a gear. A 3-deck oasis where the Caribbean feels like a private set, painted just for you. At its heart lies the Royal Bay Pool, the largest pool ever to sail the ocean. A turquoise mirror holding over 150,000 liters of water, surrounded by hundreds of partially submerged loungers, so you never have to choose between swimming or sunbathing. To one side, waves crash against the bar at Swim and Tonic, the first and largest swim-up bar at sea. DJs spin tropical beats while mixologists shake tonics with lab-level precision. Looking for silence? Glide down to the Cove Pool. Glass walls at water level with an endless view that erases the horizon completely. One deck higher, the temperature rises at Cloud 17, an adults-only solarium where cocktails arrive shrouded in nitrogen mist and the sun feels like it floats just for you. This is how suspended paradises are experienced. 7 pools, water in every direction, and the feeling that, for a moment, the Caribbean is your own private bathtub. When the sun sets, the icon of the seas lights its stoves. More than 20 restaurants and 15 bars turn every deck into a festival of aromas, textures, and flavors. Your evening could begin at the elegant Empire Supper Club, an 8-course journey of caviar, wagyu, and live jazz, paired with signature cocktails that evoke the glamour of 1920s New York. Cross Central Park and a large window will stop you in your tracks. Izumi in the park, outdoor teppanyaki, sushi flambéed on volcanic stone, and that irresistible tempura lobster roll with yuzu sauce. Craving Mediterranean flavors? Head down to Giovanni's Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar. Sourdough pizza baked at 400 degrees, burrata bursting over fresh basil, and a Chianti menu that would make any sommelier smile. Prefer something more street style? Take a look at the Aquadome Market, the fleet's very first food hall. 5 street food stalls beneath a dome that projects constellations over your Korean noodles or your Reina Pepiada arepa. If you're traveling with little ones, or if you've simply never stopped being one, drop by Surfside Eatery and Loco Fresh. Freshly pressed tacos, mac and cheese bites, and mountains of pretzels dripping with melted cheese. And when the clock strikes midnight, the climax arrives. Casino Royale. 500 slot machines flicker like retro neon while blackjack tables wait under purple spotlights and white-gloved dealers move the cards with surgical precision. Here, the night doesn't fade away, it simply changes rhythm. At 26 knots, beneath a sky with no streetlights, luck rolls across waves that never stop moving. As the lights dim, the icon of the seas transforms into a theme park of impossible shows. The curtain rises at the bow, inside the Aquadome. 673 glass panels wrap around a 220-degree theater, home to the tallest indoor waterfall on the planet. 17 meters of water plunging into a turquoise pool. There, Olympic divers soar from heights of 20 meters. Drones choreograph constellations in mid-air, while 4 robotic arms launch fountains that change color to the rhythm of the music. By day, it's a panoramic lounge. By night, it becomes an aquatic circus, where acrobats spin suspended from invisible cables. On stage, 75 performers dance among cold flames and holographic screens, projecting meteors above your head. Meanwhile, at the stern, the temperature drops to -5 degrees, and absolute zero comes into play. The largest ice rink ever to sail the seas. Here, Olympic-level skaters reinterpret classics with effects that only a floating city can afford. Artificial snowfall, laser beams, and video mapping that transforms the ice into a jungle, a galaxy, or a Broadway avenue in mere seconds. Prefer a seat and a curtain? The Royal Theatre unveils a stage the size of an NBA court, hosting original musicals and rock tributes brought to life with cutting-edge Dolby Atmos sound. Between acts, electric violinists emerge from hidden corners of the Royal Promenade, weaving a leitmotif that guides the audience from one neighborhood to the next. But the final postcard belongs once again to the Aquadome. The waterfall freezes in violet lights. A diver leaps wrapped in titanium dust that shimmers like stardust rain, and the ocean, 41 meters below, roars back in response. Thus ends the night in impossible shows, a double heartbeat of water and ice that can only exist within this floating beast. Before we talk about the family palace that's dominating social media, let's step into the normal reality of the icon of the seas. 2,805 staterooms divided into 31 categories. It starts with the interiors, 535 rooms in total where daylight arrives through HD screens simulating balconies. Perfect for those who sleep like bears and prefer to save up for the next excursion. One step up, you reach the ocean view staterooms, 276 cabins with floor-to-ceiling windows. Now it's time for the rooms that are conquering every social feed, 1,815 balcony staterooms. The most coveted? The infinite ocean view balcony, a glass wall that lowers like an electric window, transforming your room into a terrace at the push of a button. In the Surfside neighborhood, families take over the Surfside family suites, bunk bed fortresses for the kids and a split bathroom so no one has to fight over the mirror. But floating above this ocean of cabins are 179 suites, ranging from 25 square meter junior suites to the 2-level icon lofts with panoramic views of the Aquadome. But nothing compares to the 3-deck monster hidden at the stern, the ultimate family townhouse. Picture 177 square meters spread across 3 floors, an orange slide staircase that takes you from your bedroom to the living room, a private cinema with a gaming console, a ping-pong table on the terrace, and a backyard that connects straight to Surfside, so you can let the kids loose as if it were your own floating garden. On the upper floor, the master suite with a balcony and jacuzzi. In the middle, a kitchen bar and modular dining room. Downstairs, bunk beds lit with galactic curtains so the little ones can journey into space before bedtime. Price of this fantasy? Up to $75,000 per week during high season. In short, from staterooms that fit on a floor plan to a triplex with its own zip code, the icon proves that its true extra deck is vertical. While you're choosing between an HD window or an indoor slide, the Caribbean drifts by in the background, like your personal live wallpaper. Open the watertight door and descend the metal ladder. The air smells of icy gas and hot oil. You're inside the belly that powers this titan. First, the fuel. 2 cryogenic tanks, each weighing 307 tons and stretching 27 meters long, the largest ever installed on a cruise ship. The liquid vaporizes, rises through silver pipes, and feeds 6 Wärtsilä 46DF dual-fuel engines. Each block weighs as much as a train car. Then comes propulsion. 3 ABB Azipods, 20 megawatts each, capable of rotating 100,000 kilograms like a joystick. Combined with 5 4.8 megawatt bow thrusters, they maneuver this floating skyscraper with surgical precision. Up above, the bridge controls everything from a touchscreen panel. The captain turns the world and 96,000 horsepower responds in milliseconds. In open waters, the dynamic positioning system keeps the ship perfectly still over a reef without dropping anchor. Seal the hatch. The next destination is 22 knots away and the beast is already hungry for the horizon. While you're deciding between waffles or eggs Benedict, a battalion of 425 chefs has been in motion for hours. 23 galleys across 10 decks supply 27 restaurants and bars. Day 0 in port, 130,000 kilograms of provisions, 20,000 kilos of tropical fruits, 2,500 kilos of prime rib, and 3,000 kilos of flour for a bakery that never sleeps. Cold storage organizes it all. Meat at minus 20 degrees Celsius, dairy at 4 degrees Celsius, vegetables at 12 degrees Celsius. A logistical ecosystem where every ingredient has its own habitat. The visible heart is the main dining room, 3 levels, capable of serving 6,000 dinners in under 4 hours. From stove to table without the sauce losing a single degree of heat. At the stern, the 24/7 bakery smells of butter from midnight, producing 5,000 rolls and 3,000 croissants every day. Meanwhile, a chef slices 300 kilos of tuna for Izumi's sushi, while another fillets 200 kilos of salmon for the Aquadome brunch. Waste is measured and recorded down to the gram, preventing up to 1,500 kilos of organic waste per trip. That's how the Titan's kitchen works. Tons in motion, grams perfected, an invisible choreography that turns this cruise ship into a floating gourmet city. Think you've conquered it all? Every slide, every bar, every pool, all tamed. Until you reach deck 16. There, a golden arch crowns the port side. That's where Crown's Edge begins. First, a glass walkway 47 meters above the ocean. The hull growls beneath you, the wind cuts at 30 knots, and every step makes the transparent floor creak under your boots. You take a deep breath, another step, and suddenly the panel opens. A controlled fall, a scream into the air. Your body becomes a comet. A zipline grabs you, the turquoise horizon curves around you, and the ship's massive bow watches from below, as if you were the main event. This is the final lash, the ultimate signature of a floating beast that knows no limits. And if you think the journey ends here, brace yourself. In the shipyards of Turku, her sister is already afloat, the star of the seas. With the same 248,663 gross tons but a completely redesigned interior, she will debut on August 31, 2025. Setting sail from Port Canaveral, she promises to take things even further. $2 billion in naval engineering, a water park even more extreme, immersive suites that respond to your emotions, and the growing rumor of a 360-degree surf simulator. What seems like science fiction today will be part of your next cruise tomorrow. Because in this corner of the ocean, the line between ship and city, between adventure and luxury, between engineering and spectacle, no longer exists. Would you dare to cross Crown's Edge, or would you rather watch from the deck, cocktail in hand? Let us know in the comments. We want to know what kind of traveler you are. If this giant took your breath away, give us a like. And if you want to be among the first to board the Star of the Seas, subscribe to Curiometro and hit the bell so you don't miss our next videos. Thank you for sailing with us.